18 years old, according to Law Office of George Gadul.
So California is still age 18. You said she was only 16 with a grown man, if I recall. I think you are right. So good call on that. So that would have made her 16. That would have made him 20. And so 16, 17, 18, 19. I think that's past the Romeo and Juliet, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Gina? And we're doing, 7 stories. Thank you, Tanea. I just looked up this information. I think California age of consent is still age 18 years old. So I normally do not talk about older teenagers, but I felt like it was important here because, number one, that would make this young lady underage for the individual that was dealing with her boyfriend, right? So I definitely wanted to talk about this because this technically involves a child and a baby. Very tragic situation. I'm going to continue to keep pushing my message, but before we get there, let me give you a disclaimer. If you find my content offensive or controversial, pause it, read that. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer, so we won't go into reading the whole thing, right? Shout out to lawandcrime.com for the article and the information. So the young lady that you guys see right there, Jariah Edwards, is 17 years old, of Arizona. She was in San Diego with her family, staying in a short-term vacation rental with her boyfriend. Or excuse me. She was staying in a short-term vacation rental when her boyfriend, by the name of Trayvon Williams, age 21 years old. I don't know a lot of good people by the name of Trayvon, right? Maybe y'all know some. Maybe I just don't know enough Trayvons, but it seems like there's always some controversy and BS when you hear the name Trayvon. Just saying, right? This dude ended up popping up on her, showing up unannounced early Saturday morning with flowers and asked her to come outside. Let me say that again. He showed up unannounced and brought flowers and asked her to come outside. Okay? First of all, age of consent in California is 18 years old. She's 17, which means she would have probably got pregnant at 16, which if he's 21 would mean that he was 20 years old, grown adult, right? I think Romeo and Juliet, it allows for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Look it up. I think I could be wrong about that. But technically, that would, and then it depends on when they started talking. So if they started talking when he was 20 when he was 20 years old and she was 16, I don't think that would actually apply because they would both have to be underage, and then moving forward, that would be accounted for as far as their age difference. So I think that what he was doing, dating her, was illegal in my opinion. I do not know that for a fact, right? How are these MFers in a relationship? And he shows up unannounced. Huge red flag. If they're in a relationship and she's pregnant, 2 things. First of all, if your woman, your girlfriend, your wife is pregnant, you should be actually interacting with her quite a bit, wouldn't you think? So that shouldn't be unexpected. So if it was unexpected, then were they broken up? And if they were broken up, then you'd have to ask the question, why were they not together? Why are they breaking up? Why does it seem like this culture of baby mama, baby daddy getting pregnant, and it's just normal to have a baby shower with no damn man in the picture and a bunch of women and a bunch of females, a bunch of kids? Why is that the normal in our society? That's a very weird thing. And it's showing that we are doing our children a huge disservice by not having the fathers in the household, by not having the finances to be able to take care of them, let alone 17 years old. They can't take care of themselves. They don't even know how to properly take care of their own body parts, let alone taking care of a whole nother human being and then working a job and trying to figure that out. Like, I just never understood it. I'm thankful that my daughter is on her way to college now and hasn't been through none of this bull crap. So maybe we can attribute some of that to mama and daddy. Shout out to her mom and shout out to myself. I know not everybody's situations are perfect. Things happen. Shit happens. But again, He shouldn't have been dealing with her at all, let alone the fact that you're talking about everybody knew that she was pregnant. He showed up unannounced, brought flowers, and asked her to come outside. So that, to me, lets me know that they were already on bad terms. Okay? Williams, his name is Trayvon. I'm going to just call him Trayvon. Trayvon had traveled to San Diego separately and met up with the victim outside the rental, and then he shot her. He asked her to come outside, and then he shot and killed and tried to kill her. He killed her. The victim and several family members were visiting San Diego from Arizona. A friend tells AZ family that Trayvon allegedly coaxed. He how did they say it? He lured her. Coaxed. Lured her. Where are the parents? That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Y'all please hit that thumbs up if you listen. Let me know when you do, please. Where were the parents? What were the parents' role in this? Here's the thing. If my daughter is living at home and she's in this situation, let's just act like we're in their shoes. And this man shows up unannounced. My daughter should automatically know, if she's living in my house, to tell me, hey, Dad, Trayvon is outside and he has flowers. He just showed up. Did y'all have this plan? No, he just popped up. First thing Daddy gonna do? Be right back. I'll open up the door with the shotgun. Yes, sir. How can I help you? I don't understand. Where were the parents here? Y'all just let y'all daughter do whatever, whenever, however? Even if she is, being putting herself in adult positions. If you live in my household, I'm still gonna look out for my baby. That's still my kid. So he showed up and lured her outside with the flowers after showing up in the middle of the night. That's another red flag right there. But let's keep going. Yeah, I would have had that fire. You already know that fire, not fire, that fire. All right. At 1:10 in the morning, ain't no MFing way. No way. 1:10 in the morning. 1:10 in the morning is what got her pregnant. Y'all catch that? That type shit right there. 1:10 in the morning, you just pop it up at a place where we're staying. No. Wouldn't have went down like this. Some of the stuff is just super common sense if you're a parent. San Diego Police Department dispatch received multiple 911 calls reporting a shooting at the 4900 block of Gardena Avenue. Officers arrived within minutes and located Edward, that is Jariah. They located the mother suffering a gunshot wound to the head. Trayvon Williams allegedly shot the young mother and then fled on foot to a nearby canyon. Now, at approximately 3 a.m., officers located the suspect hiding near 4900 September Street. The SDPD releases a statement. A semi-automatic handgun was recovered at the time of his arrest. Edward's family told the news that she was due to give birth to a baby girl just within weeks. She was so excited, an aunt said, and asked to remain anonymous. But you want to give a statement, but you don't want to put your face out there and put your name on this. She was genuinely like one of the sweetest people. She recently started growing into herself and becoming, who she was supposed to be. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. What was she supposed to grow up to become? A teenage mom? Is that what you're saying? What's up, Penny? What's up, Glitter? How y'all doing in the chat? Y'all hit that thumbs up for me if y'all would. Please show me some love, please. What was she supposed to grow up and become? Was she supposed to go to college? Was she supposed to be a doctor, a lawyer? What was she supposed to become? So it seems like she's on her way to being a multiple baby mama with a bunch of baby daddies. When officers arrived on the scene Saturday, they immediately initiated life-saving measures for both Edwards and her unborn child. Paramedics transported them to a local hospital where an emergency C-section was performed. The newborn remains in critical condition. Y'all, please put a prayer hands up in the chat and let's pray. Seriously, let's pray that that baby survives because that baby deserves every opportunity to grow up and become something great. Her mama was traumatized, and let's just hope the baby pulls through, okay? Really, really. Williams was booked into the San Diego County Jail on suspicion of murder. He is expected to appear in court next week. Let's talk about this from multiple aspects. I've already kind of told y'all where I'm speaking from a parent's perspective. Number one, I would have done everything in my power to make sure that my daughter is not dating and what age of person that she's dating, you know, whether I don't know if this was like a long distance thing, like if they were talking over social media. You got to be involved in all your kids' business, and you have to cultivate that relationship for these young women to talk to you early. I'm not talking about you cannot wait till they 13, 14, 15, and then you think that you could talk to these girls. Look, these girls are, look, you see what she had in her hand? I want y'all to notice something. This is the trend right here. We'll get back to that GoFundMe here in a minute. Let's have DJ Daddy talk today. Can we do that? Let's do this. Let's put this baby up on the screen. No pun intended. Let's put her up on the screen. This is what the majority of these young women are learning to do. Two things. How many of y'all see it? What are the two things that these young women nowadays are being taught to do? Flood social media, get pregnant. Flood social media and get pregnant. Tell me, somebody in the chat, if I'm lying. Tell me if I was on the Wizard of Oz and I was the lion, the cowardly lion. Am I lying? Flooding social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever the hell. They out here learning to twerk, flaunt their body parts, get attention, and eventually get pregnant, because guess what that's going to get them? Babies for benefits. They'll use these babies for benefits, whether it be Section 8, food stamps, child support, car vouchers, attention, child support, whatever it is. That's what we call here at the AFC babies for benefits. And they're doing this earlier and earlier and earlier because there are no consequences, but there are a lot of rewards. There are no rewards for people going out and working hard and not having no kids. Did y'all notice that? There's no reward for these young girls to go out and truly go get an education. When I say truly, I'm talking about graduating, not just being enrolled, by the way. Okay, for people who want to throw that stupid ass, we're the most enrolled, we're the most educated. You're the most enrolled. Finish school and we could talk. Finish a degree and we could talk. Get a career and we could talk. I have no idea what a 16, 17-year-old parent is supposed to do when you can't take care of yourself. I think it is quite ridiculous for people to think it's okay for these young mothers, these young women to say, well, my mama was this age or I was this age when I had a kid. It's stupid. Because if you didn't have that baby, guess what you wouldn't be able to do? You wouldn't be able to go get an apartment. You wouldn't be able to go get a mortgage loan. You wouldn't be able to qualify probably as far as your credit. You have not worked a job long enough to be able to have even a savings, to have the ability to be able to pay monthly rent. Most monthly rent, depending on where you're at in Arizona, what is it? About $1,500 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom? Am I right about that? About $1,500 a month. And if these jobs are paying minimum wage, what job is she supposed to work at 16 years, 17 years old with no experience? She's still supposed to be in school. So what working experience would she have to be able to have enough earned experience to get a higher pay rate to be able to now take care of a child who more than likely baby daddy was going to end up in prison anyway because they like to date thugs. And when you date thugs, what is my hashtag? What is the AFC hashtag? When you date thugs, you date death. Please always attribute that to me because I made it up many, many years ago, about 9 years ago. That belongs to me. I'll always belong to me. Now, let's get into the news videos. I only got a couple. I'm going to just show you guys the fair usage under 17 U.S.C. 107. We ain't going to even play that all out. Y'all do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. If I'm saying something that y'all disagree with, let me know. Post it in the chat. Don't be scared to let me know what you really, truly think. Let me move this up a little bit. And let's do it like that.
Friends of 17-year-old T.G.I.F Edwards are still in denial.
Honestly, like when I first found out, that was just like the most heartbreaking thing to ever hear. It's just sad. Like, she didn't deserve this, and I don't know. Nobody should experience this at such a young age.
The Corley sisters have known T.G.I.F for several years, but it feels like a lifetime.
It was funny. Like, we always laughed about.
T.G.I.F was killed this weekend, police saying the Valley teen was visiting San Diego with her family. According to San Diego police, her 21-year-old boyfriend drove from Phoenix to San Diego, where he met her and allegedly shot her.
He was literally a monster, and he ran into somebody with a pure soul. Like, there's nothing she could have did that made him act like this.
T.G.I.F was pregnant, police saying she was about 32 weeks. That baby is still in the hospital.
Because that's the last part we have of her.
Man accused of killing his pregnant ex-girlfriend over the weekend faced a judge for the first time today.
Prosecutors say the killing was planned and carried out after he traveled from Arizona here to San Diego. News 8's Alex Cheney was in court today and joins us live now with the latest. Alex?
Yeah, Marcella, this is just so tragic. The family of the victim was in the courtroom today in tears as they watched the suspect, 21-year-old Trayvon Williams, plead not guilty to first-degree murder and also attempting to kill his own unborn child.
This is a capital case.
In the Central Courthouse downtown, 21-year-old Trayvon Williams pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, the attempted murder of a fetus, and possession of a machine gun with an extended magazine. The judge ordered us not to show you his face. Prosecutors say Williams and 17-year-old T.G.I.F Edwards started dating in September of 2025, and family was concerned.
Had an on and off relationship filled with domestic violence and threats of violence on the victim and her unborn baby by the defendant.
Prosecutors say that on May 29th, Edwards and her family were staying at an Airbnb in San Diego. By then, she had blocked Williams' phone number, and family was in the process of getting a restraining order. Court documents show Williams took a Lyft from Arizona to San Diego, leaving around 6 p.m. and arriving just before 11:30 that night. Prosecutors say he learned where Edwards was staying, had the driver drop him off several houses away, and lied in wait. They say he used DoorDash to send flowers to the home. Edwards went outside with a family member to pick them up, but Williams remained hidden. A short time later, prosecutors say he sent a second DoorDash delivery, this time a vase, to lure Edwards outside alone. That's when investigators say Williams shot her in the head early Saturday morning. After the shooting, prosecutors say he ran into Tecolote Canyon, changed clothes, and tried to hide. Prosecutors say they also have GPS data placing him at the scene, along with a recorded statement. The DA says Williams told a friend on the phone, "I shot her in the face. I shot her dead."
Evidence that are given in the police reports, given through GPS monitoring, as well as defendants' very own statements and witnesses.
Edwards was 32 weeks pregnant. Her baby was delivered by emergency C-section and remains in critical condition. Prosecutors say the child suffered a loss of oxygen and currently has minimal brain activity. If the baby dies, Williams could face an additional murder charge.
2 times.
Williams is currently being held with no bail. He is due back in court on Friday for a bail review hearing. His maximum penalty is life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. Reporting live, I'm Alex Cheney. Back over to you.
And a pregnant teenager from Arizona is shot and killed while she's on vacation in California. Her baby survived, but is in critical condition. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra is in studio with the very latest on this case. Gabby?
Well, Troy, the family tells me tonight that the newborn baby girl is still fighting for her life after being delivered in an emergency C-section. The baby's mother was 8 months pregnant when she was shot and killed. The mother has been identified by family as 17-year-old T.G.I.F. Edwards. She was on vacation with her family in California when they say her ex-boyfriend allegedly showed up at the rental home unexpected. San Diego police say they found T.G.I.F. with a gunshot wound to the head around 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. She was rushed to the hospital where her baby girl was delivered again in an emergency C-section. That baby's still in critical condition, and T.G.I.F. unfortunately did not survive her injuries. Her ex-boyfriend, who police later identified as 21-year-old Trayvon Williams, had allegedly run off after the shooting and hid in a nearby neighborhood. That's where police say they found him with a semi-automatic handgun and arrested him. Jariah's family tells me she was bright and loving. Her life was only just beginning.
Her legacy is that her daughter is going to be everything that she wanted to be and so much more. And she should be proud of that. She should be proud of that.
And Williams, who is also reportedly from the Phoenix area, is being held in the San Diego County Jail without bail. Coming up at 10 o'clock tonight, I'll share more from my conversation with Jariah's aunt. In studio, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you for that update.
The man accused of killing a pregnant 17-year-old made his first court appearance just a short time ago.
Prosecutors say T.G.I.F. Edwards' ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old Trayvon Williams, showed up at her family's vacation rental in Bay Park Saturday night and shot her. Doctors performed an emergency C-section. Her newborn baby is now in critical condition. This afternoon, Williams pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder and attempted murder charges. News 8's Alex Cheney was in the courtroom. He'll have more on the new details revealed about the case tonight at 6.
Friends and family are mourning the loss of 17-year-old T.G.I.F. Williams, who was shot and killed over the weekend. Her friends say she was 32 weeks pregnant. I'm ABC 15 reporter Eleni Dow. We spoke with friends who tell us that she was someone who made them feel seen and also always made them laugh. Friends of 17-year-old T.G.I.F. Edwards are still in denial.
Honestly, like when I first found out, that was just like the most heartbreaking thing to ever hear. Yeah, it's just sad. Like, she didn't deserve this, and I don't know. Nobody should experience this at such a young age.
The Corley sisters have known T.G.I.F. for several years, but it feels like a lifetime.
It was funny. Like, we always laughed about.
Yeah, her personality was very sarcastic.
T.G.I.F. was killed this weekend. Police saying the Valley teen was visiting San Diego with her family. According to San Diego police, her 21-year-old boyfriend drove from Phoenix to San Diego, where he met her and allegedly shot her.
He was literally a monster, and he ran into somebody with a pure soul. Like, there's nothing she could have did that made him act like this.
T.G.I.F. was pregnant, police saying she was about 32 weeks. That baby is still in the hospital.
Because that's the last part we have of her. Yeah, while he still gets to be alive in jail.
Domestic violence and teen dating violence experts say there is help out there. If you or you suspect a loved one is going through abuse, reach out to the National Domestic Violence or Teen Dating Abuse hotlines.
It's like the most heartbreaking part about it. It's entirely preventable. Every single instance of domestic violence is preventable.
Friends say T.G.I.F. was trying to leave her boyfriend, and now they're remembering the girl who always wanted to be a mom.
This is like the last person on earth that you would expect this to happen to. Like, she did not deserve this at all.
Family and friends have started a fundraiser hoping to help the newborn and lay T.G.I.F. to rest. You can find more on abc15.com. I'm Eleni Dow, ABC 15, Arizona.
Now, of course, I have a lot to say about this. Let's talk about this. I took some notes while they were talking. Here's what I want to know. Trayvon Williams, what did this father do for a living? What do y'all think he did for a living at 21 years old? One thing that I could tell you is that for him to have this type of mentality, he probably didn't do much of anything. More than likely was probably a street dude, because that's what a lot of these women are attracted to, okay? Just want to throw that out there. Another point I want to talk about, where are these young girls learning this behavior from? They're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. They're listening, and I promise you, this is why I think it's so important. And I told my best friend about this the other day, so shout out to Kurt. And I was talking to him about Stephen A. Smith starting up a podcast brand for a whole nother group of people. And there was a woman that got on there, and she was talking about black women on the show. She kind of reminds me of Candace Owens, her looks, but it wasn't Candace Owens. And she was on there talking about how we're the most educated and men are intimidated by us because of our education and how much money we have and this and that. And even he realized how stupid that sounded. And I'm like, and he got to actually talking crazy about them. And I was like, bro, like, you're literally talking down on your own podcast, something you created already. Talking about, I'm gonna be a guest on there and I'm gonna refute some of that stuff that she's talking about. I'm like, bro, that in itself is already weird, because it's like you're refuting a show that you're putting out. It's almost like you're cutting their legs off before they even get started with their rhetoric. But my point about that is that the more of these platforms that come out there, the more these people that continue to put these messages out there, that you believe this is what men want, you believe that this is the way life should go, you believe that you can have kids without having no man in the household, you believe that you can get along through life without marriage and not having real companionship and not learning how to make real friendships and not learning how to take care of yourself and be financially secure first before you start going for a family. They're learning this from all of these different platforms, and you don't have enough parents in the household telling them any different. So I want to continue to caution the women out there, even the women who are in my chat right now. Every one of y'all talk to some of these young girls. Y'all see some of these young girls. You got to start talking to them and telling them this is the result of y'all leading these households, okay? Now, let me say this about this young fool with tattoos. We'll get to the tattoos, neck and tattoos, all of that. We'll get to that here in a minute, okay? Let's talk about him. Since y'all say I don't never talk about the man. Child support is not the end of the world. I now have 2 grown kids. They're not babies anymore. They're grown now. And I've dealt with child support the majority of their lives. With my son, it was when he turned 2 years old. With my daughter, it was around when she was about 7 years old. But that's here nor there. But even though I didn't like it, it felt bad. I had emotions about it. I was quite upset about it. But I knew all I have to do is I have to work and figure it out. It's not the end of the world. There is no need, and I'm assuming that this is the only, or maybe his first kid. I mean, if you're older than her, you're 21 years old, you're young, you got both arms, both legs, you can see, you have a brain, you function somewhat, you can go out and go get a job and take care of this one kid. You can take care of this one responsibility. You can figure it out. I'm going to say this again, and we need to make this a new hashtag. Child support is not the end of the world. And I hate the fact that a lot of times they get used as a weapon against these men, against us men, against the majority of men who have kids. It gets used against us as a weapon. We got to stop weaponizing these tools of the government. Want to throw that out there. Again, I'm not saying that this was deserved or what was right or what's wrong, but what I'm saying is we got to stop doing and attacking each other. It's just not healthy. It's just not good. Let's talk about this. Her Thug Lion, we talk about the Thug Zoo, right? These women take their kids to the Thug Zoo to go play with the Thug Lion, and when the Thug Lion behaves like a lion and he murders and mauls you, then you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe Leo did that. Leo the lion just acted like a lion. I can't freaking believe it. And you're always surprised when a thug acts like a thug, when a gangbanger acts like a gangbanger, when a thug on the set, this and that, and such and such. I'll pull out my strap. I'll bust all y'all. I'll murk all y'all. I'll put all y'all in the dirt. Don't disrespect me. And then you're surprised when you get this result. And I just thought about this. She's 16 with a tattoo. Lord have mercy. Oh. So he's got money for guns, but no money for child support. He got money for guns and tattoos, but no money to take care of his child. I'm assuming that's why he ended her life. They broke up. They're not in a relationship. You know, these relationships ain't relationships. No way. They think they're relationships. This man has a body full of tattoos. Let me see if I can show y'all that picture because I enhanced that picture. It's a pretty good little picture. You could definitely tell. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. Y'all can see this. Neck full of tattoos, arm full of tattoos. I'm in my mid-40s and I don't have as many tattoos as this dude does. So y'all see that. Let's talk about the next thing. They get these type of men, these thugs, because they believe that these women, as pretty as this girl is, and she is a beautiful young lady, they look at them as top-notch. On a scale of 0 to 10, they look at them as 10s. These are their dimes. They look at them as the most beautiful women ever. She is a beautiful young lady. And they feel like there's no way possible that if I get with this man, he loves me so much he would never leave me and I could do whatever I want to do and he would never leave me. You get with these men because that's a sense of desperation. In all actuality, it's actually a sense of self-worth. They don't have a lot of self-worth and neither do these women, right? Because you should be okay if the relationship don't work out. You ought to be able to go y'all separate ways and be fine. But these people are not able to function properly. So they get a man, they just feel like there's no way in the world this man would ever leave me. I'm the finest thing that he will ever get. And then that thing turns around and flips on you. So you get a desperate man and then you're shocked when these men behave desperately. This man was so desperate, he not only sent one DoorDash, he sent 2 DoorDashes just to get her to come outside and be fooled enough to come outside. And I'm assuming this was happening at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's desperation. You wanted a man that's desperate, and then when he act desperate, it blows up in your face. Now let's talk about this GoFundMe. I'm glad I took notes because I had a lot to say about this, and too many times I do these live streams and I forget to talk about certain things, but not today, y'all. This is why I picked this story because I had a lot to say about it. Back in the day, back in the 80s, girls that were pregnant were not allowed on campus. I did not realize that. Thank you, Deborah Dorr. I did not realize that. Thank you, Amy, for posting that. Support Jariah Edwards' family and newborn. So here's the thing. The boyfriend is probably, Trayvon is probably going to be facing an additional murder charge because they're saying that the baby has limited brain activity, but we're praying really hard and we hope that baby survives. But the prognosis right now is not good. Critical condition is not good. So they're asking for a $20,000 GoFundMe. What is DJ's problem with this? Am I against GoFundMe? No, I am not. I'm just pro life insurance. Okay? Y'all do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. I see people are watching. We are live. Please hit that thumbs up if you are listening. Find that thumbs up and please hit it. You are now a parent. The moment that this girl at 16 got pregnant, going on 17 years old, y'all should have went and got life insurance. Not because of the danger that this boyfriend might have presented to her, but how about this? How many of you guys knew, and shout out to Tommy for this stat. If he's out there listening, shout out to Tommy. Y'all tell him I always give him a shout out whenever I'm reading off things that he's taught us over the years. The mortality rate of women in America having children, the death rate is very high of women giving birth with a potential that they could die doing it. That rate is very high. Why would you ever be getting pregnant and having a child 2 weeks prior and no life insurance? You know how they know they ain't got no life insurance? Because they're talking about to support Jariah Edwards' family and newborn. That's what insurance is for. People always make the excuse that they don't get Gerber insurance or anything like that on their babies because they're not expecting for their babies to die early. Anything can happen. But let alone the fact that we know that the mortality rate in the United States of America, women giving birth to babies, the mortality rate is really high. Why the hell would you not have prenatal care? Why the hell would you not have insurance? I'm not against GoFundMe. I'm just pro-life insurance. Let's talk about this. Ex-boyfriend showed up unannounced twice. First time at 1 in the morning or 1, whatever it was in the morning, was a red flag. Again, if I was dad, I would have went and grabbed my weapon and I would have answered the door. But it makes me wonder if there was even a man in that household, because a lot of these kids are growing up in households, there ain't no man in the household. So I'm just assuming that there was a husband there, a father there, a dad there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just a house full of women, which wouldn't be expected. That wouldn't be unexpected, especially with our kids being born without dads in the household at a rate of about 80%. So the numbers say that. Even as a mother parent, if it was just women there, I wouldn't have let the 16-year-old go answer the door at 1 in the morning. She's pregnant. Why don't you, mom, get up and go answer the door? Maybe have your shotgun and go answer the door. Maybe put your life on the line for your kids. I just don't see that happen a lot. Let's talk about something I always talk about all the time. When these boys are little boys and they don't have fathers in the household, this all comes full circle. They grow up and they don't have a lot of value for themselves because they didn't see a man that resembled their DNA that they should grow up and become just like their dad. So they have a lessened value or maybe even no value. So if they don't value themselves, they're going to grow up and they're not going to value anybody else. They already don't care about themselves. So there's a high probability they're not going to value anybody else. This is why you see these cultures like in Chicago and all of these other places where these boys, these young men can go out and kill each other indiscriminately. You can sit there and say, like, how could they be that heartless to just shoot up on a Memorial Day weekend, 32 people shot, and they don't care. They feel nothing. They're soulless because they don't care about themselves. And these are the type of men you continue to keep perpetrating and putting at the top of your wish list. And these are the men that you're dating. These are the men you're getting pregnant by. These are the men that you're posting these stupid memes talking about mood and got the man sitting on you and y'all smoking a blunt, got the feet kicked up playing Xbox or whatever the hell. You know the little memes they be posting? Mood. This is my mood. I want to be laid up with my man. That type shit. And again, I'm not saying, like, if you don't want a regular blue collar normal dude, totally fine. But that also doesn't mean that you're going to get the bottom of the barrel, the worst of the worst, and continue to keep pushing that culture, that bad negative stereotypical culture. But those are the type of men that keep choosing. Last thing I want to say, women cannot continue to lead these households by themselves. And I hope y'all hear me. I hope you hear me with your soul. Don't listen with your ears. Listen with your soul. Women cannot continue to keep leading these households and being on the front line. It is a horrible thing. We're getting horrible results. All I'm asking us to do is each day get better, talk to somebody, pass it on to a kid, pass it on to these young kids, how important it is to have families, mothers, fathers. Tell your kids there are only two genders, male and female. We could start there. Something simple. Boy and girl, penis and vagina. That's all it is. All of this other anomaly stuff, right? In order to preserve ourselves. If other people from the LGBTQRST want to do what they do and that's not a diss to them, do what y'all do. But that is not normal. That is abnormal. That is against nature. And the more that we go against nature, the more bad shit that you continue to keep seeing happen. Okay? Every bit of this. You're not meant to be in these relationships with these age gaps. A lot of this stuff is actually, what do they call it? It's a little bit trivial when you pick these arbitrary ages. Like in some states, it could be age 16 is consent. Other states is age 18 consent. That's a bit arbitrary, okay? Because the difference between a 17 and a 16-year-old is debatable. But if we're going to have those laws, I think we need to be set on a common age of maybe 18 and say, you know what, this is the age that you should be able to function as an adult. All you should be doing from age 18 all the way up to 25, ladies, is be working on yourself, getting a degree, getting maximum education as possible, getting your credit together, getting your money together, being able to take care of yourself first, then open your mind to finding a proper mate. Same for the men. There is no way men should be fathers under the age of 30 years old. Most fathers under the age of 30 years old suck, especially nowadays. They can be better, and we should do better, and all I'm asking us to do is do better. Women should not be mothers under the age of 25. Men should not be fathers under the age of 30 years old. Let's try it that way and see if we can maybe make a difference. Her getting pregnant at 16 was already on a bad trajectory. Him being a thug and getting a 16-year-old pregnant with him being 20 going on 21 years old. This is exactly what's going to happen. Pray for that baby. Pray for this family. Let's do better, guys. Let me know what you think. Get mad if you want, but don't debate things that are factually accurate. Tell me the truth about something. Woo. How about that for a first story? Jesus. I know I had some people tune out. They always do. When I get to speaking that undeniable truth, they always tune out. Let's go ahead and get into our next story. I literally said everything that I wanted to say in that story. I feel so good. I knew that I would. I felt good. Because I said what I would. We live. We live. Hit that thumbs up. Ow. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Story number 2. I know that probably hit some women right in their ovaries, boy. I know they felt that. They was like, sheesh. Y'all ready for story number 2? And thank you, Deborah Dorr, for showing some love. I definitely appreciate that. Love you. Love you right back, Deborah Dorr. Deborah Dorr, show some love in the Cash App. She feels where I'm coming from. Let me give a shout out to my friend, Michelle. We are live. Pull up. If you got some time, if you're not too busy at work, pull on up. Come say hi to the AFC family. So if anybody else donates in Cash App or PayPal, I will make sure and shout you out. Sometimes the PayPal notifications actually do not go through, but it'll still get there. So if you do send something there, I will make sure and shout you out. So I think where we are at right now is we're just on Cash App, okay? So thank you to those over there on Patreon. I appreciate that. If we can get some more people to subscribe over there, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. Y'all ready for story number 2? It says story number 2 out of 20, story number 2 out of 7. Because guess what? I actually have done stories where we had, I don't remember, what was the most we ever did? Like 16 or 17 stories one night? It was a lot. It was a lot, Reeves. So, oh man. Let me take a pause real quick. Let me say thank you to Amy Shabari. Thank you very much for showing some love in the super chat. She said, challenge accepted. Appreciate that. Love you right back. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. I don't know if you guys remember this story. It's actually posted on my channel. Thank you for those who emailed it to me. This is an update, huge update. This is about the caretaker who had a little boy over her house. She had big, huge pit bull dogs that ended up attacking the baby. So before we get into the details, let me give you a disclaimer. So for those who might get offended about what I'm saying, I always, in every video, give you a disclaimer. Pause it, read it. If you find my content offensive or controversial, all you got to do is exit the video. You ain't got to sit there and get mad and leave nasty comments. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Look at these big ass dogs. This is coming from yahoo.com for the update. A Bexar County judge, B-E-X-A-R, I think that's Bexar County judge on Monday sentenced a San Antonio woman. Finally got a sentence to 14 years in prison in connection with the death of a 1-year-old boy by the name of Jariah Johnson, J-I-R-Y-I-A-H, if you want to look that up. Jariah Johnson, 1-year-old boy who was fatally attacked by pit bull dogs. They don't want to say pit bulls. I'm going to say it because I'm a pit bull lover, and I still get worried about pit bulls. I'm not going to even lie. Just a lot of stuff going on with these dogs. While she was babysitting this boy back in 2024. So you'd have to go back a couple years. You can search it on my channel under the name of Jariah Johnson. The woman's name that was babysitting this beautiful baby boy right here, beautiful little smile. She's down there on the bottom. That is Heather Rodriguez. She's at the bottom of that Zoom call with the judge. Was sentenced to 14 years in prison on one felony count of abandoning or endangering a child following emotional testimony from members of the victim's family who described the lasting impact of the child's death. So the victim, the 1-year-old boy Jariah Johnson, was attacked in October 2024 at Rodriguez's northeast side home. Authorities said Rodriguez had been caring for the child but left him in the care of her 13-year-old daughter while she was away. I don't remember why she left, but she basically left this child with another kid pretty much. Now, according to investigators, 3 aggressive pit bulls in the residence, and y'all got to go back and listen to the original story. So basically, it was known that these dogs were vicious and dangerous. She had them, I think, in one bedroom, and these dogs are so freaking strong and so freaking crazy that they tore through a door, and then she put them in another room while this baby boy was there, left, and they tore through that door and ended up attacking the kid. 3 aggressive pit bulls in the residence broke through a door and attacked both children. The teenager was injured and Jariah suffered severe injuries. Now, if these dogs are that damn vicious, why would you even have them? Put them down. Put them down. Take them out. I love dogs. I love animals, but I don't love them enough that if they're vicious and they just present, we're already taking animals out of their natural environments anyway and forcing them to be civilized. And some of them just mentally ain't gonna never get civilized. That's just the reality of it. Again, that's us forcing something that's not natural onto animals that should be in nature anyway. But I digress. The teenager was injured and Jariah suffered severe injuries. He was transported to the hospital and he did not survive his injuries. During Monday's sentencing hearing, Jariah's father, Julian Johnson, told the court that the loss of his son continues to affect him every day. He said it ruined him. And the pain I have is torturous. That's from the father. Jariah's grandfather also addressed the court, recalling the moment he arrived at the hospital after the attack. I'm left with the image of him laying on that table. I try to get that image out of my head, but I cannot. Heather Rodriguez was charged with 2 felony counts of abandoning or endangering a child. Court records show she accepted a plea agreement in March and entered a no contest plea on Monday. The judge sentenced Rodriguez to 14 years in prison on one of the charges. She will receive credit for the 601 days she's already spent in custody. Family members say that the tragedy has permanently changed their lives. During his testimony, Johnson remembered his son's smile, curly hair, his eyes, and described how the loss affected his relationship with Jariah's mother. That's kind of important. I think it changed me in a way where our relationship couldn't be the same. It made me fear. It made me not trust the world. It made me scared that if I turned my back for a second, that I'd lose her too. So he's going through a lot, and I'm really, really sorry to hear that. The case drew significant attention in San Antonio following the child's death and renewed concerns about the responsibilities of caregivers and the dangers posed by aggressive animals left in the homes with children. This woman already knew that these dogs were aggressive as shit, kept them, and ended up attacking her own kid and killed the little boy. This is being shown under 17 U.S.C. 107 fair use. Let's take a look at the news videos we got, and I'm going to see if I can fix this. Here we go.
Tonight, family and friends gathered to honor a baby mauled by his babysitter's pit bull. 3 of them, in fact. 1-year-old Jariah Johnson died from his injuries on October 7th. News 4's Phil Sterling attended his memorial tonight, where he spoke with Jariah's parents.
Jariah Johnson's father, Julian Johnson, says he's devastated by the loss.
The entire time, since my son's passed, I've been trying to be strong and be the rock of the family, being supportive of my lady, but I'm not good. It hasn't gotten any easier.
He and his wife, Erica Castro, say they're mad Heather Rodriguez, who was supposed to be babysitting Jariah, left him at home with the dogs.
Nobody called us, and she didn't call us and let us know that she was leaving.
Oh, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Johnson says his family is grateful for the outpouring of support at tonight's memorial.
The entire chapel filled up.
He says he knows his son wouldn't want to see him down with his passing.
I want my son to be remembered by his smile, his laugh, his optimism, his curiosity, the fact that he was loud and he told everybody hi and he could get blue kisses.
We had plans. We had plans to go to the zoo, or to the pumpkin patch. We had it's October.
Johnson says he would like to see some kind of laws passed which could help the public more easily identify aggressive dogs. Jariah will be buried in Mesquite, east of Dallas. Phil Sterling, News 4, San Antonio.
And another update today, a judge decided that the 3 pit bulls that attacked Jariah will be put down. The babysitter, Heather Rodriguez, is facing a number of charges, including...
So that's a slightly older video, but y'all do me a favor if you're listening. Can y'all please hit that thumbs up? We want to have 1 thumb up for everybody watching, okay? But thank you for posting that in the chat. Just remind the people, just please hit that thumbs up when you come in, okay? Here we go.
Injury to a child, reckless bodily injury, and endangering a child.
After hearing all the testimony from the state and from Ms. Rodriguez, in the JP court, it's a preponderance of evidence, which is more likely than none. And unfortunately, in this case, we have a 1-year-old that is no longer with us due to the unfortunate attacks of these dogs. So at this time, I am making my ruling that all 3 dogs are going to be euthanized. Counsel, do you have your order on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Top story. Nearly 6 months ago, 1-year-old Jariah Johnson died after he was attacked by dogs at his babysitter's home. KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez talked with his parents today about the special way they're honoring their baby.
For the parents of 1-year-old Jariah Johnson, the past 6 months have been tough as they learn to cope with his passing.
Little by little, we're pushing through, fighting, taking it day by day, step by step.
In October of 2024, deputies say 1-year-old Jariah was attacked by his babysitter's dogs inside a Northeast Side home. Jariah fought hard for his life inside a hospital ICU, but ultimately died from his injuries.
It's just, yeah, we still cry, of course. It's been a journey.
Now that journey has led Jariah's parents to turn something tragic into a treasure for other children. About a week ago, Jariah's mother, Erica, says she was overcome by a feeling.
I don't know if maybe Jariah saw something we didn't see, and he was like, hey, Mom, make Easter baskets for some kids that don't have Easter baskets or parents who can't afford them.
Jariah's parents are in the process of starting a charity named after Jariah called Jariah's Wings. This is the first of many projects to come. So far, they have 47 Easter baskets made, but are looking for more donations. Next weekend, they plan on giving out 120 baskets.
And God's work is to give and take care of others, so that's our objective.
Erica says Jariah's Wings is a way to honor him and continue his legacy.
Just thought we'd give back because he's making some changes to the city. He's making changes to animal control. And now with the new law being pushed, that's all my son.
In a couple of weeks, Jariah's parents will testify before the Texas legislature. Currently, there are 2 House bills making their way through the legislature, which would toughen penalties for dog attacks.
We don't want to go through that again or have anybody else go through what we've been through because it's tragic.
If you would like to donate items, you can contact Jariah's mother, Erica, through the Jariah's Wings Facebook page. We have posted that information at KINS5.
Our top story tonight, we know the fate of a woman whose 3 dogs attacked and killed a 1-year-old boy. Jariah Johnson was mauled to death by the dogs of Heather Rodriguez while she was babysitting him back in 2024. KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez joins us live with the details after a judge handed down her sentence this afternoon. Mike?
Isis, before the judge handed down Rodriguez's sentencing, there was some emotional testimony from Jariah's family on how his death has impacted them.
It's ruined me. I couldn't imagine it. This pain I have is something that's torturous.
Fighting through tears, Julian Johnson, father of 1-year-old Jariah Johnson, took the stand in a Bexar County courtroom before the sentencing of Heather Rodriguez. In October of 2024, Rodriguez was supposed to be babysitting Jariah in her Northeast Side home, but left him alone with her 13-year-old daughter. Deputies say Rodriguez had 3 aggressive pit bulls in the home. The dogs were able to break through a door, attacking and injuring the teen and fatally injuring Jariah. Jariah fought for his life inside a hospital, but ultimately died from his injuries. Jariah's grandfather also took the stand, where he said Jariah's death has changed everything and spoke about arriving to the hospital, but it was too late.
I'm left with the image of him laying on that table. You know, I try to get that image out of my head, but I can't get it out of my head.
Rodriguez was charged with 2 felony counts of abandonment or endangering a child. In March, she accepted a plea deal and Monday pled no contest. Rodriguez was sentenced on one of those charges to 14 years in prison.
This didn't have to happen. There's no reason for you for the irresponsibility.
During Monday's sentencing, Jariah's father remembered Jariah's eyes, smile, and soft and curly hair, and spoke about the impact his death has had on him and Jariah's mother, Erica.
I think it changed me in a way where our relationship couldn't be the same. It made me fear. It made me not trust the world. It made me scared that if I turn my back for a second, that I lose her too.
And although Rodriguez was sentenced to 14 years, she will be given credit for the 601 days she's already served. Mike Jimenez, KINS 5.
So, this is basically the conclusion. We're finding out, of course, we already knew what happened with the dogs. They all needed to be put down. These were just horrible dogs. That don't mean all pit bulls are horrible, but these 3 were horrible, okay? You had a lot of evidence behind that, too, prior to this point. Let me also say this. This needs to be said. This is going to be hard for the mother and father of Jariah to hear this. But I've been saying this, and I want people in the chat, please type in there, somebody, even if it's just one of y'all, type in the chat and tell the people, how long have I been saying this? This is why I do not believe in cheap child care, these family home daycares. I don't like them. I grew up in them. I get it. I understand that people are always looking for ways to save money, but I think that we need to make the proper investment in our kids. Cheap child care produces cheap results. This baby should have been in a real child care facility, not in a house with this whore who left with 3 aggressive-ass pit bulls. I seriously doubt if an accredited daycare would have 3 aggressive pit bulls on the premises with little babies. That would not be allowed. This wouldn't have happened. I'm not saying all daycares are perfect that are accredited, but I think that they would produce a better result. Again, we just have to do a bit better, and that's the message we got to put out there. Reconsider these home daycares. That's all I'm asking for people to do. Jariah, Young Prince, let me get him up on the screen because he had such a beautiful little smile. And I feel bad for mom and dad. Look at that. Young Prince, R.I.P. But thank y'all for listening to the saga of this story because that's where it's going to conclude. But again, we pray for strength, and we pray for the mom and the dad, okay, that they can move on and still have productive life, okay? Thank you.